That's very exciting. I guess Sharon, thank you so much for getting up at 5 a.m. in Australia to be here with us. Um, I guess I want to sort of start the meeting to say to Region 5, but to all of us, I know this is a really hard day for us, and our thoughts are with you um, and all of us. It never gets easier, and it really it does it doesn't seem if it's harder or easier if it's a 25-time queen or someone that just joined our organization. They're still someone that belongs in our hearts and will live there forever. And um, I think the best way to honor Dale and any Sweet Adeline that's crossed over is to continue on with honoring their memory and their legacy. And I know for me personally, I have made a lifelong commitment to honor Nancy Kurth because of being blessed to be her caretaker as she passed. And I'm driving her vehicle as I do my 10-year tour, and what a way to honor her. And so I know we all will carry Dale in our hearts with us always. And I can only imagine the package and the packages next year at International. I'm fairly certain everybody will have some sort of homage. I know one of my choruses is competing next year, and I'm imagining there'll be some sort of adjustments made, so it'll be uh, it'll be a wonderful time to be together to support each other and lift each other up. So,
Yep. And in
and
Australia was early because that is the message that I got this morning when I first found out was from Australia Post. So you guys were up very early, which was great. And so I did this in honor of Dale. I gotta tell you. So Dale and I had dinner one night when she was in here, and she hooked me up on Tiavala tea
oh,
and a tea maker. She loved tea. So she actually I purchased it that night and the tea and we shared with that. So I had a cup this morning in honor of her. But it's what I remember. It's one of remember personal things that I had with Dale. But she thought it
yeah,
was so cute. She goes, "You're actually gonna buy that right now?" And I'm like, "Uh-huh." And so we sat there, her and I on Amazon. And I ordered everything right there and I ordered the tea vala. And she said Tioli is the best loose leaf tea is what Dale telling me. So I've been ordering it ever since.
so
So
it's funny that you have that gigantic bag because I excel in law, but in math or measurements, not my friend. And I ordered some loose leaf raspberry tea, and I thought I was getting this little bag, and it's about this big and this wide. And I have been giving everybody raspberry tea. And so I see that giant bag, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if that happened to her too. But
well, I got an assortment. I really liked the butterscotch flavored black tea. So I got a bigger one of that, but I have like little ones of all the other things. But I get what you're getting at, Sheree. It's like, yeah.
yeah, terrible.
It's just like every time I have a cup of tea, I think of Dale. And so now I'll just think about her a little bit more now, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. Hi, Tara.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to be seen.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty miserable, as I'm sure all of you are. So
Yeah.
I got sort of sucked into Facebook there for a while. I was like reading all the great stories about Dale, and the one that really got me, I think it was Tammy Talbot, because she
Yes.
said that Peggy and Dale would go early to contest and help out and string all the medals. And she said, if you have an international medal, they probably strung it for you. I'm like, oh, now you've got me. But also how moved she was at her own 50th um, uh, year ceremony, because of what Sweet Alliance has meant to her. It's like reading about Dale crying. It's like, okay, now I'm gone. Um, because yeah, not only was she amazing to all of us, but collectively we touched her too. So that was very special. Anyway, I just noticed like my red face and like, yeah, well, that's pretty much what I'm gonna look like. And this is an appropriate background because this is how I feel right now.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of things right now in my life that suck. So it's like, oh yeah, sure. One more thing. That's all I needed. Just although this is probably the worst, but of all of them. But
It's tough, that's for sure.
I had to sort of remind myself of what I'm grateful for right now because it's like, okay, well, at least my family is okay. I still have a job, even though it's a little tense right now. But okay, I have everything I need in this moment. So I guess I can focus on that and try to just be grateful because yeah, sometimes life doesn't always turn out the way you want.
Mm.
But yeah,
That's
that's
best that we have this, so we can all embrace each other.
That's
know,
right. And I'm thankful that this is our ninth meeting and that we have been going for this long. I mean, it all started from a challenge from Sharon, over 2 years ago, and we said, okay, let's rise to the occasion, and we have. And most of us have been here at every single meeting, and Katie is new to us, and so let's let Katie introduce herself. And Sharon, bless her heart, is joining us at 5 a.m. in Australia. I think we all know her, but if she would like to introduce herself after Katie, just quickly, then we can then kind of do a recap of some things and talk about where we hope to be going next. So, Katie.
Hello. Um, I'm from Region 21. I sing with Vista Hills Chorus. We are the smallest chapter in the region, I believe. And I run their social media campaign. I've been with SAI for 16 years, and I did actually get the opportunity to work with Dale a couple of times via regional events. So, kind of still reeling from that. This is why they don't let me talk in front of people. This is why I do the writing part. But yeah, that's what I do. That's where I'm at.
welcome.
Yep,
Thank you.
welcome.
And I'm Sharon Cartwright. I live in Queensland in Australia, and I've also been in Sweet Alliance for 16 years. So we joined about the same time, Katie. That's great. I used to do marketing for my chorus back in Sydney when I lived there, and but when I was on the RMP here, I was the communications coordinator first for 2 years. And then I became the team coordinator, and I finished that job so I could go onto the board. So I didn't quite finish my full 6 years like you will, Cherie. I nearly got there, but then because you can't have both jobs, so I came off. So, but yeah, marketing is close to my heart. It's something I teach. I'm now. I get a lot of opportunity in my own region to do things as a regional faculty. And I haven't, well, actually, Region 5, Michelle, that's where I met you. I think I did a marketing class with Region 5 once, but it's on my list, on one of the things in my list of international faculty offerings. Is touches on marketing. It's not the only thing, but I'm here to learn. I mean, I'm here to learn from you, and that brings me to a story about Dale because my first international faculty in person gig was last year in Wichita. After Louisville, I went to Wichita at the invitation of Melanie Williams from Region 25 and was their faculty for their Leading Together fall retreat, their leadership weekend. And it was a really big deal for me to get asked to be their faculty for the entire leadership weekend. And when I saw Dale and Peggy turn up as participants in the class, and there would have been, I don't know, about 70, 75 people there. Suddenly I look out there, I'm thinking, what the heck could I possibly teach them about leadership? And anyway, when I thanked them, when I saw them at the coffee break and I thanked them for coming, I said, I was really surprised to see you and here. And she said, oh, I'm here to learn from you, Sharon. I wouldn't have missed it. I'm here to learn from you. And I just couldn't believe that, here I was talking to Dale, a friend, and someone who I held up, in awe of. And here she was saying that very thing. And I think that's what here we all are on this. And so, Suri and Molly, thank you very much for, with Vanessa, continuing this, because we can all learn from each other. And as chair of the RLC, that's something that the four of us on the RLC are always, when we get together, we're always saying how much we're learning from you all, and making sure that you all learn from each other. So the fact that you were the only coordinator group to so far, after a few years, to rise to the challenge of making one of these for themselves, I'm pretty impressed with that, and very grateful to you. So that's me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So how is everyone doing with the international mission retention challenges? Has your region been active in those? Have you had much feedback from your chapters?
Our
Are you-
chapter has done all of them so far, and thanks to this meeting that we found out about the first one. And
Oh, the one where everybody logged off early so we could hurry up and do it.
Right. yeah, I just sent something in. I mean, I checked with the president. I'm like, I'm going to send in this. Is that okay? And she's like, yeah, whatever. And then the second one, I think it was a survey or something, and we had something for that already. So the membership coordinator took care of that one. And then the third one was October, right? Was the webcast, like webcast party, like we were in the arena. So I stood behind the camera that was facing the webcasters, and I took pictures of our quartet, Lucille, being interviewed by the queens, and I'm like, okay, there's our webcast party. Well, then I also took some pictures of some of our members in the arena during the contest, but while there was nobody on the stage, because we couldn't disrupt during the contest.
Right.
Like the lights were up, and I'm like, oh, I need a fake picture of you guys all looking at the stage. And so I've got solo voce all going at the stage, and it's like, here's our webcast party. So and we didn't win the contest, but it's like on the list of names, we're on there. I'm like, yep, that was because of me. But one of our members was under the impression that just being there would automatically qualify us for something. It's like, no, you have to do something.
Right.
Or competitors who did not make that list because they have to send in something. And then for the next one, I printed out the complimentaries because I'm a teacher, so I have cardstock, like piles of it under my desk. I'm like, ooh, I will print this out, and I sent out an email to the president and the membership coordinator and everybody and the director, and said, I'm ready to do this on Monday night when we meet. And the membership coordinator wrote me back. She goes, she'd already done it. She'd already printed it on cardstock. She's already taken care of it. I'm like, okay, fine. She's like, we'll save yours until next year, and we'll do it as an annual Thanksgiving thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So in future, we're just going to coordinate better to keep on top of it, to make sure we do it every month. But it's kind of fun, and it's not that hard.
So one of the things that my Coeur d'Alene chorus has done is we printed out and wrote the names of our members who are associates and or who are just kind of on leave or just not sure where they're at. And we're inviting them for they just think they're coming to have sort of like a breaking bread for Thanksgiving kind of thing. And we're going to fill it all out for them just so they know that we still think about them and that we care. And it'll be the week before our joint show with the Spirit of Spokane chorus, and just so they know they still matter. And who knows, they may say, okay, that's it, I'm coming back, and if not, they could certainly consider being part of on my DE&I committee for the region. We have what we call the extension cords, which are people that are not no longer singing, but they still want to be part of Sweet Adelines and in our region, and so we call them the extension cords. And so we're hopeful that will keep keep them coming back, because we need all the spokes in the wheel. Just because a person may not be able to sing, that doesn't mean we can't include them, and that's part of the eye of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And when you're marketing that, you've got to walk the walk and talk the talk. And that, what a better way than reaching out from your heart, because really, to me, that's what marketing is. That's what DE&I is really reaching out just from your heart about an organization that you care so deeply about. And so we're looking forward to surprising them with that little something that we hope they'll treasure.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do too.
When I was reading all the Dale tributes this morning, I was putting the little love thing on all of them, not as a like a rating or anything. Partly so I just remember which one I'd read, but also just because I felt like I was just sharing love, just everybody I don't know, and some people I know, some people I don't know. We're all just reaching out and giving each other a giant hug, because this is something that's touched all of us. So it's nice. It's any way we can do that sort of thing, I think, is good. But I really like this particular activity. I did something similar to this at summer camp, where we passed around papers and we all had to write something to everybody in our little group of like 20 people. And we're teenagers, so we didn't all necessarily love every one of us deeply, but it's like you could think of something nice to say about everybody. And so sometimes it was like, what can I say about this person? But everybody has value and everybody has something nice that you could come up with. And in this case, they only want, one or two words. So it's like, just, yeah, we're going to do it before rehearsal for the next 2 weeks, and then we can take the picture. But gives us time
We
to
did one
think about it.
a similar thing at chorus retreat one time with, I think, a coach. I can't remember which coach suggested it, but we all had a piece of paper that we stuck on our backs, and we had this period of, like, I can't remember how many minutes it was, maybe 10 minutes, and you just had a piece of paper on your back, and the whole room just went into frenzy, like all this, and you just had to write one word that of something about that person. It wasn't the gratitude as much, but just something that would describe you. And then at the end you got to pull it off. And some of the people in our chorus who were probably the quieter ones, or the ones who there's always the noisier ones, and then there's the quieter ones, and just looking around the room and looking at people and their faces, just reading them all at once, and you could just look up from yours and look around, and you could just see what it meant to people, going, what? People think that about me, like, it's really quite, and I think that we took that into the rest of the coaching weekend as like, these are your superpowers, bring this to your next, to what we're about to do with the song, or something like that. It was a really powerful thing to do.
It's very powerful. It's very, very, very powerful. And you just never know when somebody just needed that so badly at that moment, and how one word can change the whole energy, that the whole energy shift of their life. And you just never know. And it's really, my hat's off to International for coming up with the idea that it's not, because it's not just about singing. This is an organization that it's so much bigger than that. and as regional leaders, we have an opportunity to take this idea and nurture it and foster it. One of the things, we're coming to New Year, new ideas for all of our regions. And one of the things Region 13 is starting in January, we're going to kick off is we're reaching out to all of our chapters and we're going to do a feature on our Facebook and social media. We're asking each chorus, send us stuff about your members that's not music related, and let us brag about your members on our regional, Facebook page and our regional website because people people are struggling right now and we need to celebrate the good. And we have a 16-year-old in the Coeur d'Alene chorus who is just been nominated by the state of Idaho for the Merit Scholarship. She's number 1 in the state of Idaho, and she is on the spectrum and thought she was going to fail her SATs. And she is number 1 in the state of Idaho. And I'm like, oh my God. And she happens to be, I mean, I've known her since she was 5. And so, I mean, I'm so proud for her. And I'm just like, that's the exact thing that we want to honor and raise her up and celebrate. And we've been talking with the chapter leaders, and they're like, this is going to be fantastic. And it's those little things that we can talk to our marketing coordinators in our chapters and let's get people excited about honoring each other because it's simple to do and we sometimes just forget about it. We get so busy in our lives and we can't forget to honor our achievements.
Very true.
And it's right now, it's the marketer's dream time of year. I mean, it's it's the holidays, and so many songs are public domain, so you can just post away and you can take, I mean, the research I've recently done, 93% of all internet users are now it's all about the reel. It's the 60-second or less. It's all about the reel. And so I'm seeing more and more Sweet Adeline reels all the time on Facebook. And I just created one last night and posted it. And it just grabs you. And when you look at that percentage, 93% of global internet users, that is astounding percentage and programs like Canva, which thank goodness are still not charging nonprofits for their pro account, is incredible and it's very user friendly because I'm like I said, I'm in law. I play hangman and people ask me what body part I just put on. So I mean, so when you have an app that you can literally type in and say, I want sparkles and trees and it does it, it's fantastic. So um so I think we all have Canva now, but it's fantastic and it certainly seems to be the way of the future and I'm sure that AI is here to stay. So I think that's where we're at.
And Katie, if you're not on that, just reach out to one of us. We could guide you how to do that for your group. It's a free account for any nonprofit.
I need to learn how to make a reel.
Canva.
I may call on you for that because I currently pay for my Photoshop subscription and I'd rather not if I don't have to. So,
Nope, you don't have to then.
Yep, canva.com.
Now that you
oh, I
brought,
know.
I'd love to ask this group, Cherie, since we're doing I'm getting ready for this 3rd annual Jingle and Mingle,
Right.
which I did see the Melodiers is actually doing it this year. They actually put it on the Facebook and I'm like, and so somebody says, well, they're using the same name. And I'm like, I don't really care. I says it just shows that we shared it through international and it's being shared. So I think it's great that they're kind of spinning off, and hopefully it works for them just as well as it has for us. Um, but you brought up the reels, and usually I do a whole entire movie, a whole entire video, and it's like an hour and a half long of all the choruses, and they submit 2 songs to me, and I put it all into one movie. Do you think it would be ideal if I did as reels this time and set them up as reels that they click each reel as it goes on who it is? I wonder if that would be a good idea or not, because it'd be short, but I mean, I do post it live on our website through Vimeo.
But don't the reels have a short window? I mean, aren't those like,
Oh, I don't know how short they are. Can they go 6 minutes? I mean, usually it's 2 songs are usually less than 6
well,
minutes.
like the TikTok reels, but uh I
I
mean,
don't,
that was something I was gonna have us discuss today was TikTok, because I feel like TikTok in the United States is kind of
yeah.
probably on its last legs.
Oh, okay.
Problematic.
I'm just kind of curious if I should just, if I should mix it up, do something different or not with it, with the video or not. I don't know. Anybody have any suggestions, or just doing one whole, because I've got quartets now in there too. So, and it gets long. I see, Michelle, you're nodding your head. Do you have anything to say or a suggestion, or?
Well, so what are you asking a twofold question, Molly? Are you asking for the actual event or to market the event?
No, just the event itself that I post.
I have no idea. Is there a time limit on reels? I've watched
Yeah,
them. I try to,
90 seconds on Facebook.
Okay,
so
so that's
I,
the right thing to do, but maybe do short snippets of it maybe versus have it be 2 hours long, hour and a half to 2 hour long.
Yeah, the attention span of most people is going to be pretty brief.
Yeah, I mean, I know some choruses set up an actual watch day that day to watch them all, and then they'd send them to their friends and family to watch. But I just trying to, I want to stay with the times. I want to stay current and see if there's anything I need to do and mix it up and make it better. And I'm actually, my marketing coordinator couldn't get on the call today, but she's going to be available at 2 for me to talk to her. And so I thought I'd share this all with her too as well.
So the way that Jingle and Mingle works is they send in the videos to you, right? And you compile them, and then you have Jingle and Mingle Day.
Yep. And well, and then I keep it open all the way to January 7th. So anybody can go on at any time and view it, because, not everybody's going to be available at that time.
Right, right, right.
So what is your jingle and mingle thing? I'd like to know.
That's the one that what we do is that we drive new singers to come to each chorus and kind of participate in 2 songs, and they can either be done during their performance that they have, or if they have a holiday performance, or they can just do it at their at their rehearsal. But they'll take a picture. Some do packages, some do cute little packages and stuff, and then they submit the songs to me ahead of time. They all have to be approved through the assessment tool online. And then we also try to make sure there's no duplications in songs. So they all submit those to me, and then we drive members to them and say we're looking for new singers. And so as a marketing employee, as a region, we direct people to the courses that are participating. They send us a video of 2 songs, and then we put them all together to make one big show.
Okay, so it's a regional event that highlights all your different courses.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But we allow the choruses and the chapters to design their own programs on how they want to do it, how they want to bring people in. We just kind of help them out by driving it for ads and stuff, which is good. Hey, you haven't seen my Jingle and Mingle, Tara, huh? Presentation?
Yep.
Oh,
I could see it. Sorry.
yeah, no, I did one for international, so I can see if I can find the recording of that and then see if we can forward that to you.
Where did you post it?
It
I
was
don't,
everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have seen if it was on. If it
I'm
was on,
going to send you a link to it. Uh,
Okay.
got it here.
Oh, great. Sharon, thank you.
Yeah, I've got it. Before we finish, you'll see the link to it and the time code for where to start it. So it is here somewhere. I've got it on my list. It's really good. Really
Otherwise,
good.
I also have a toolkit too, so you can always reach out to me, Tara, on that. I can send you a toolkit as well. But and this is our third time doing it, and I just ordered I ordered the ornaments now to be like a snowflake this time. It'd be a snowflake ornament, and I give that to every participant in every chorus. So as a region, we send it all out to them. So it's about 500 of them. But just kind of make it fun. But
Yeah,
you
That's a huge event.
what?
That's a huge event.
It's a huge event, yes. Yep. But now we all got it down, Pat. I don't have to do as much work because all the other chapters already know what to do, so they're already on top of it. And I'm just like, okay, well, here's the schedule, and that's about it now, which is kind of nice.
So are you prepared to take that to other regions?
Yeah, I think other regions are doing it. Melodiers did it this year.
It would be really fantastic for you to create a video tutorial on that.
Well, we did for international, so that's what Sharon's going to share the link for. Because they had me present it at one of our international RMT meetings.
Yep.
And Vanessa was on there with me as well.
Right.
But I get what you're getting at, yeah.
So have you thought about taking snippets from past Jingle and Mingles to create a short reel for your advertising for the upcoming Jingle and Mingle?
No, but I'm definitely going to pose that this afternoon when I talk to Leah. I'll see if she can.
Because you could pull the highlights from that and then create a 90-second reel.
Yeah. To show that it's coming and to kind of tune in on that day or whatever day, to look at it. Yeah. That'd be cool.
And choose one of the best audios that's hopefully of a public domain song that then you wouldn't have to worry about copyright and all of that. And yeah, the sync will be off, but well, hey, the sync was off for almost all of international streaming. So I mean, and we lived through it. But that would be a fun way to advertise it.
the sync was off for the webcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not too bad, but it was at times it was.
Well, we watched our semifinals and finals on Monday at rehearsal, and the finals wasn't bad, but the semifinals was all off. I'm like, what are we doing? This is so weird when the choreo doesn't match the dancing, match the singing.
Yeah, when they hit a note and then you see the arms go up, you're like, wait. So
Video they provided you for your performance, Tara?
the video they gave our director, she was able to share with us at rehearsal.
That should have been better than what a webcast one. It should have been better.
I'm not sure in what format they gave it to her, but from the announcement, it was like, this is out of sync. What is going on? But then the finals one, was a better quality.
Yes, the finals was much better.
They posted on YouTube. They can fix that, don't you think?
I think so. I think they will fix it.
It's a good thing to take back. I know that. And with Harbor Lights, I know this is off topic, but when we were on Kansas, our whole back row so that they could hear the feedback during the whole performance. Did you hear that on your chorus at all?
There was feedback from the mics.
Yeah. And then heard that on stage.
Row, so I didn't hear that, and I didn't hear anybody complaining about it. So
yeah, they just said that they just said it was just the weirdest thing to hear yourself coming back at you when you're on the top, and I didn't notice on the third, I was on the fourth row, so I didn't notice it myself, but
I didn't notice that. But I say I'm down. I'm over on stage right for most of it, and
hmm.
hear anything weird. I mean, I thought
So
it sounded. thought it
Sharon,
sounded
how prevalent is TikTok in Australia?
It's pretty prevalent. It, but I don't know that people are using it. Some choruses are using it for their marketing, but I
Okay,
think
so before I hand it over,
sorry.
oh, oh that's the video
Yeah.
that I think someone was just clicking on. I just so Tara, I put the link to the Molly's presentation. It's the whole session, but I've shown you where to go straight to it. So yeah, TikTok's definitely here. I think Reels is something that probably because you're already on Facebook, that using Reels makes sense because a lot of people are on it, but a lot of times it's the people who are already in the chorus and making the things are on Reels. It's about reaching the audiences that aren't currently in your chorus, and so going to TikTok if that's where people are. But even the TikTok that Sweet Adelines does, it kind of, yeah, I'm not sure necessarily that the content that we create for ourselves at Sweet Adelines is the kind of content that is really working on TikTok, you know. So and more people that you're trying to reach in probably the demographics that we are trying to that are more likely to
Right.
pick up on what we put on TikTok or Reels are going to be more on Facebook at this stage. And then once people are doing a youth program or something like that, maybe TikTok. But look, I have to really think about it to go to TikTok. If something was specific, I would go there, but I'm not there all the time. That said, my husband, who is has fairly highfalutin literary taste, something like that, he's on TikTok. He's always talking about things that he loves, like videos about dogs seeing their friend who's just returned from the military, and he has a very specific uh taste in what he's looking for in TikTok. So I can't say, but yeah, TikTok's not something that my chorus currently uses, and we have a fairly, compared to a lot of choruses, fairly young demographic, and they don't seem to favor it over something like Reels.
Well, I know I posted Youth in Harmony event on TikTok and I went to boost it and they denied it. They wouldn't let me put it on. And I thought that was odd.
That is odd.
Yeah. But they literally said that I couldn't boost it. And I was like, that makes no sense. All it does is say it's a Youth in Harmony event. But
It certainly seems that, I mean, especially when you look at the median age group of our organization, that we're still looking at Facebook and Instagram. And they are still the top for social media, the top two. YouTube is still the top for uploading videos and sharing video content, especially for an educational organization, which is what we are. That's how we keep our 501(c)(3). And so that's really good for us for sharing educational content. One thing that I've been noticing that's been increasing is LinkedIn for collaborating with businesses, especially if you're trying to grow um, in your chapters are trying to grow community presence and reaching out to other businesses to introduce yourselves, because somehow after 80 years, Sweet Adelines is still the best kept secret. But reaching out as one business to another to say, okay, somehow you've missed us. We're still here. And how can we collaborate? How can we support you? And people are like, well, Are you wanting money? No, we're not. You've got to start to build your community. You've got to start. So send this again. This is the gold mine time of year. Send your create a daytime very large quartet if your choruses can, to go out, go to the car dealerships and just sing for 20 minutes and do that for an afternoon. They're gonna start talking about you. I've talked till I'm purple about the military in these meetings because I'm a military veteran, and I know we have problems getting on bases, but we can certainly go to the recruiters' offices and sing for them. And I think that but I've noticed that a lot of people are starting to put LinkedIn on their chapter websites. And so when you're starting to look at potential funding opportunities and collaborating with some other nonprofits, uh, like I mentioned, my two choruses, we're joining together for a holiday show, and we're supporting actually three other nonprofit organizations in our shows. Two are food drives, and one is a toy drive for, um, uh, you know, underprivileged kids. And we just have to support each other. Nonprofits are taking a huge hit these days, and that's what it's about. And the more that you support each other and and connect and once and LinkedIn is really good, and it is a trusted, respected organization. And so you might want to, as a region, consider starting, a regional LinkedIn profile and then having your chapters follow you there, and your chapters can create their own LinkedIn profiles, and that's going to then start growing exponentially.
Good idea.
One of the marketing phrases I used to use with my chorus when we'd be looking to partner with businesses or other charities or community groups would be say, use our voice to amplify yours. And so just a simple idea that, if there's one thing we can do, we can attract attention in a very quick time in a very crowded place, like in a market or some other thing, and suddenly we start to sing and everybody's starting to look over to us. Well, that's when your people are there selling the raffle tickets or doing the ask or whatever it is while we're singing and all feeling joyful about what we're doing. And so just that seemed to hit the mark for, with people that go, oh, okay, I get it, and it's not so much that we would, like while we're there attracting attention, then we've got people handing out our business cards about, that we love to sing, and encouraging membership, but also encouraging people to hire us for gigs. Like we're just being out there invisible, as you say, otherwise we are invisible. And really, Sweet Adelines are not renowned for being actually invisible people.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is so true. I was looking at the notes from the marketing thing that happened at International. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah.
When you talk about communication keys, there was a note on here that a lot of people use Slack. I have not used that. Has anybody here used it?
Get out of my head, girl.
Me?
I literally have it up on my screen right now.
Too. No.
I think I haven't used it either. Has anyone else here used it?
I've never even heard of it before. But
Because
Katie
we're
has.
old.
I used to use it at work in one of my jobs, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel the need after that. But it's pretty much like a Facebook for business. That simple idea that.
Okay.
So I'm not up with any latest features on it, but
I think
I wouldn't.
Katie said she's used it.
I have, and I'm kind of with Sharon on that one. I've used it for various volunteer obligations and organizations, and I could live without it. I don't find it as effective with the people that I work with SAI.
That's good to know.
I think because I think the functionality like started with Facebook sort of started adding functionality that mirrored what Slack was doing. So now, I mean, like as you know, it's not even that easy to get all the RMT coordinators to jump onto the Facebook groups that Janelle creates and just use it to share things. So I can't imagine
Right.
that having to sign up to another platform that you're not there on just organically kind of thing, just in your daily life. It's it. I think Facebook groups and that you can just create very quickly are have pretty much a similar functionality, and you can share. Facebook. You never used to be able to share files in groups or store information or do polls and all of those other features, and now Facebook allows you. Has got all of that stuff there.
Oh, that's good.
But yes, I'm not sure exactly, when why they said Slack was an easier way to communicate. And I'm not sure with communicating with who, whether, because I wasn't in this group I just picked up the notes that they handed in. And some of them I'm kind of reading between the lines. I'm not sure exactly.
What was in there? Was Michelle in the group? Were you in the group, Michelle? No? What about you? Tara, I don't know. You're not on the RMT though, are you? Okay.
I think Claudia was on the list to be there. Oh, from Region 21. Tara, you're on mute.
Spaced out. Yeah, I am not on the RMT. Although Claudia wanted me to start shadowing her, and I'm like, oh, do I really want to get on the RMT? Because I'm almost done with my board job of marketing, and then it's like, oh, now do it for the whole region.
Oh yeah, that sounds good to me.
Sure that.
You get to hang out with these fun folks.
Yeah. I love hanging out with you guys. I don't like having to be on social media every minute. It gets tedious. And then I feel this huge responsibility to do more, and so
although you would find someone in your team and build a team with your social media person. You yourself wouldn't have to be on. There's bound to be someone who just wants to do that.
We had a young woman join us who was like, marketing was her job, and she and I had a brainstorming dinner one time, and she gave me all these great ideas, and I was like, oh, I'm totally going to recruit her and get her to take over my board position. And then she left the course to go have a baby.
Oh, no.
But she knows about reels and
Priorities.
all these baby pictures now of her and her little one. It's like, okay, are you ready to come back now? Because we really need you.
See, she could be an extension cord.
Yeah.
Well, I just recently learned that they don't have to be an SAI member for them to work with you from international. I just recently found that out. Like I could have anybody on my faculty that isn't an SAI member. Tara, you could just recruit her to help you.
You don't have to pay dues. You don't have to come to rehearsal. Just help
me. And just help you out with that piece, yeah. Because I mean, I did the same thing with marketing when I started because I got education coordinator in the middle of my term, and so when I brought in Leah, every time I know that there's something to be done, because I'm like you, Tara, I'm not on social media all the time either, and I just like, hey, can we touch base? Can you do this for me? Can you do that? Good. And that's how she's learning, and she's doing it for me, and she likes doing it. So it doesn't hurt to find people that want to do it for you. And I give back to that all the time. I say, people come in with me ideas, I go, how would you like to do that for me? And they're like, okay,
Well, and reach out to your community colleges and find the marketing classes and find out how many people have to do a marketing project for their midterm or their finals, and just reach out and say, hey, we're willing to be, pick us, and they may not pick you, or even shoot. I'm guessing elementary schools at this point are probably doing something similar. You know, and so reach out to the schools. And I mean, young people are really good at this stuff. And so, reach out, and that just is another way to raise awareness about our organization. And
Yep.
We've been wanting to go to the
Scanner.
colleges to recruit singers. So
Mhm.
that would probably make sense.
Our region has communications coordinators, and that's a lot of the social media is under their umbrella, which is helpful because I can barely post happy birthday to people on Facebook. So I'm thankful for those people that can, even our chorus, we have a communications person too. So that kind of keeps us going. And not to say I might have ideas, but yet they're the ones that are more on top of getting it out there.
Yeah, and there's new platforms that pop up all the time. It's just, do they last? I know that Threads is trying very hard to become a thing, and it's also Meta, but it's kind of limping along.
Right.
And but I don't know that it's gonna make it. It's sort of trying to keep up with X, which was Twitter. Um, but it still seems like that Facebook and Instagram are leading the pack, and that's what our region is staying focused on. And until something just comes along that stands the test of time, I don't think that we're gonna jump on a bandwagon anytime soon. Takes too long. We're old. to learn new things.
I know,
So
but we're going to
Never
Blue Sky.
did.
I don't need it. I don't need a new thing. I have to learn now.
yeah,
And I need to spend less time on social media, right? Not more.
And I think it's the message as well as, I mean, the message versus the media, like you can, I just, in our region, the chorus that is going to Columbus next year, they've never won regional before. It's from a state that's never had a regional champion before. It's just such a big deal for Redland Rhapsody to actually have risen up through that sort of middle of the pack. Now they're the champions. The fact that they've got this new message to say every member is just like their nerve endings, like the goosebumps are on every single day with the thought of what they're doing. They're going out and really passionately talking about what they're about to do because they've never done it before. And it's amazing how much sponsorship they've got. And then they amplify their sponsors. They're always talking about their sponsors and promoting their businesses and all this kind of stuff. And I looked at it and thought, compared to some of the other choruses that go regularly, just the enthusiasm and that every single chorus member has got a message to get out there and talk in their community. I went, yeah, it's the message more than the medium, because the medium's the same as what everyone's always had. It's just that they have got a new story to tell and they're so excited about it. And it's just bringing in results. And so it's just that sense of reminding people that, it doesn't matter whether this is your sixth time doing something like an event in your region or whatever, pretend it's like your first and give that sort of same passion and energy, because there's always going to be people who've never seen or heard of you before. And if the first time that they see or hear anything about you doesn't seem to have the excitement and passion behind it, then why should they get excited if you're not, that kind of thing. So it's about refreshing that message. I just see how well it works. And Karen, who is the regional marketing coordinator, who understandably didn't get up at 5. I can see why she wouldn't have. She's the regional marketing coordinator. She's also the team coordinator of that chorus. So you can see her. You can really see her behind this whole idea, and she's doing a great job. But yeah, it was a good reminder to me that the message is so important.
So we know we have our 10th meeting coming up in February. And our last meeting, we talked about reaching out to other coordinators and trying to kind of have a big kickoff and put, coordinators in breakout rooms, and let's try to encourage other coordinators to meet. And I did reach out to Claudia because she is anyway, I sent her an email. I don't know if something got lost in translation, but I didn't hear back from her, so I reached out to Sharon. I know that there's a big RLC meetings next week, next Friday and Saturday. So once we confirm our meeting for February today, I'm going to invite everyone to join us. But I thought, wouldn't it be kind of a fun thing, since it's also at the start of the year? What if one of the easiest things we can do as marketing people is follow each other on our social medias? And how many times do we say to our own choruses, I know the director of Spirit of Spokane, he brings his computer and his projector and after international, and he pulls up these videos, and I'm like, hit subscribe, hit like. And he's like, why? I'm like, oh God, I've failed, and so, and that's such a simple thing, but they just don't understand what it does to the algorithm behind the scenes when we do that. And that's so simple. And why don't we just spread that message again? Let's just and especially at our anniversary meeting in February, when we hopefully will have more people with us, and let's just encourage people to do that. And it's a simple message. And I kind of came up with a hashtag that I think could be fun. Share your sequins. I think I think that's kind of fun, and let's see how far we can take that. And and let's get people excited about following each other. And hopefully you all know about the RLC meetings on the 22nd and 23rd, and we'll see a lot of each other there. We talked about our February meeting, and I'm just wanting to throw this thought out. Historically, we've been meeting on Saturday mornings, but when Sharon says it's 5 a.m., I'm like, well, that's not optimal. Um, so I'm just asking, would Sunday afternoons be better or worse for people?
I'd say Saturday afternoons work out better. It seems like all my regional meetings all end up being on Sundays.
Yeah, that's true. Mine do too.
Yep.
So if we were to look at Saturday afternoons around 2 o'clock Pacific time, what time is that in Australia, Sharon?
2 o'clock. Yeah, that's more. Actually, I have my handy ready reckoner on my.
It's a week from Tuesday.
It'll be 8 a.m. your time.
Yeah, I'm just going to look up
8 a.m.
Okay, so Pacific time. Where's so 2 p.m.
Yeah, 2 p.m. Pacific time. It should probably be 8 a.m. your time.
Yeah, but I'm looking up because I have
Yeah.
Here we go. So 8 a.m. at my time in London, it'd be 10 p.m. In Sweden, it'd be 11 p.m. so it gets late for anyone that you're trying to attract from Europe.
Okay.
Um,
So
but otherwise, Perth it'd be 6, but we have one RMT member in Perth, and she doesn't like to get up too early. But yeah, so it's going to be tricky. It's always tricky. That's why we on those main RMT led RMT networking sessions, we do them twice because there's always going to be someone for whom it's too early or too late. So probably the 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock sounds good. Like be 5 o'clock in Eastern time, 4 p.m. Central time, 3 p.m. Mountain time, 2 Pacific time, and then yeah, my not to say that we aren't trying to get people from Europe to be there, but I can't imagine that the 11 p.m. would be too attractive for our Nordic Light region marketing coordinator. But I'm not sure how much they participate at this point anyway, but I'm working with them to encourage
Sarah
more.
used to come, Sarah Draconi used to come to our meetings
Mhm.
when they were earlier for
Yeah,
us. That's
but I
probably
think it's to do with the marketing, isn't it? You know, the why. Why is it important to come? Why have a nap in the afternoon so that you can stay up late, or why
right,
go to
right.
bed early so you can get up earlier? You know, if there's a compelling reason and you can, then and you've got some time to get that message across, perhaps you'll have more success.
Well, and for those that for 11 p.m., if we went later, then it would be early for them. Yeah, that's a hard one.
Is noon better? Is that more reasonable? Noon Pacific?
Yeah, well, that'd be 6 for me, wouldn't it? So, and I don't know that. I mean, you wouldn't get Beth. I don't think she would get up at 4, which would be her time. Although, yeah, but you know, you're probably only missing out on one or two versus more, because Australia has people that, like right now, it's 4:08 a.m. in one part of our region and 6:08 in my part, but 7:08 if you're in the states southern to me,
What
and
time
then
is it
everything
for
in between.
Joanne Oosterhoff right now?
4:08.
Okay.
Yeah,
I won't text her.
you won't. She
Try to
wouldn't.
accommodate Australia more or Europe? I mean, where are we going to get more people from? Sounds like Australia has more people who could participate.
Right.
Well,
I mean,
RMTs, you've still got the same amount of people. So in Europe, you've got eight people in the RMT, because you're trying to get people from all coordinator groups, aren't you? Not just marketers.
Right, but I think it's on a Saturday night, it's probably easier for people in Europe to stay up till 11 than for someone else to have to get up at 4.
Yep.
yeah,
I-
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the 2 p.m.
That works. And what date were you thinking on that?
February 8th is what we have
Okay.
said. So 2 p.m. Pacific US.
If you're doing something to the all, can I suggest that you do it in Central Time, because the RLC tends to make the headquarters the default time zone, just so that because if it's being marketed to all coordinators, they're so used to having Central Time as being the default time zone.
So that's 4 p.m. then.
4 p.m.
Yep.
Pacific.
Yeah.
I can't object to that because that is my time. So that sounds great to me. Sorry, I was being a little selfish there. Like, okay, this is nice.
So the challenge for us, Sharon, is we don't have everybody's emails. And so I don't know if it's something that if I include you in the invitation that you can blindly send to other coordinators.
Yeah, what I do is I get the education department to send it out because and in something like this because we're trying to make it a bigger thing and and like the ones we did with finance coordinators and the ones we did with the events and competition coordinator about the regional conventions because if you're wanting to make it a bigger audience do that because uh, it's because they will always have the updated roster of every single coordinator, and also their their emails are likely to get into the inbox and not spam. If it was my address or something like that that people haven't seen before,
Right.
and then it sort of elevates it to sort of like this is a Sweet Adeline's wide thing, like this. But so yeah, let's get the education department onto that. And once Kim and you have had a chance to talk and work out what the topic is, we have the next when was it? November. The next edition of Spark comes out in just before Christmas. So it'll be out around the 22nd of December. Um, so if you had the date and something to like we can promote it in Spark as well as on the Facebook groups as well, and also an email with a link can go out, and then Nicholas can send another one, a few weeks before and reminders. And what we've had the most success with RLC led events when we've somehow made a mistake and we've had to done a very quick blast out on the day to say, oh, it's a different link or something's broken or whatever. And then we have more people when we blasted out on the day.
Mhm.
We found that out by accident, really. People go, oh, I couldn't commit to that date when you sent me the invitation, but hey, oh, well, I've got an hour now. Yeah, why not? It's really funny.
I love
You
it.
never know. You just
That's
never
great
know.
reminders anyway.
So, do you all want me to look for a guest speaker, for the February event? And if you would like that, is there a topic? I mean, obviously marketing for marketing coordinators, but is there a certain marketing topic that you want me to go out and look for? Is there something you're wanting to learn about that would be helpful for us and for our regions?
Well, I guess we have to think of it as a whole because we're going to be going to a lot more people on this
Right.
particular meeting.
And
So
if we're going to put people in breakout rooms, are they going to go, we don't want to go to a breakout room because you got this amazing speaker. So there is that kind of challenge. Do we want a speaker for the February meeting, or do we want to just have that almost be an opportunity for people just to have a meet and greet and realize that it really is beneficial to share ideas with each other in from the different regions?
Well, what's the main purpose of the meeting? Is it going to be for marketing coordinators to learn something about marketing, or is it going to be for all the coordinators to talk about the advantages of having these meetings? So it sounds like two different.
I think the answer to that is yes. I think it's for our marketing coordinators for us to continue our work because we have been successful at meeting and learning from each other. But I think it's also for us to hopefully inspire the other coordinators to take what we have learned from each other and to then create their own quarterly meetings for their own specialty.
Well, if you had a guest speaker who just did a short presentation but wasn't for the whole meeting, they just teach us some skills like how to make reels or something, whatever.
Well, that's we already have somebody that can teach us that. So, um, she's just not with us today. But I think that we could certainly have Vanessa do a real lesson and see what I did there. And I think and maybe even end the meeting because then people could come back and all the coordinators could watch that and kind of end the meeting with that.
That's a
And
great idea because it would be advantageous for all the different areas, to be honest, I
Yeah.
like that idea.
I think it's vitally important for other coordinators to realize. It never ceases to amaze me that especially in the chapters and they say, well, let's talk about the marketing budget. Can you do good with $100 for the year? And yet but they want you to fill the auditorium and they want you to market and get new members and they just don't realize how vitally important your role is for every aspect of your chorus and or your region. And I think it would be very helpful for the other coordinators to even see what all goes into creating a reel and perhaps we ask Vanessa to create a marketing reel for a show and a marketing reel for attracting members, and attracting, sponsors to support your chorus and maybe that will cause them to go, oh, and then have her show how you boost that and how much money that costs. And then maybe that will help them to funnel that down to the chapters to say, oh, you probably want to increase your marketing budgets. So
And I think we would have to get that at more of a high level as well, because that could take up a lot of portion of time if you get into the nitty gritty of it. Especially when you get into boosting and talking about that could be a whole session alone.
yeah, so we could, have part two, the following meeting on how to do the boosting and things like that. So
But what I got out of some of the notes that were sent, this is what they put. We don't always have the tools to help us get our jobs done, to do our jobs. So maybe if we indicate, the different tools other than that, like we've done before, but we'll have a larger audience, but maybe a high level of the different tools. And then we spin off into some of the ones that we're doing instruction on. And then we can talk about like, where's the resources to get these other tools and how can we help them? Does that make sense? Okay.
so
yeah.
if you're inviting everyone, see, normally we would do one in February, so we wouldn't run a second one. So I'm just thinking, because if we're encouraging everyone from RMP to participate, then it would be smart not to have two in the same month for everyone, because that membership coordinators will have had one a couple of weeks before that. The membership retention committee, they do a half yearly education session for membership coordinators, so they will have done one only a couple of weeks before. So I'm thinking, if you're encouraging everyone to come, it'd be, I think, good to have something that's like a marketing for non-marketers. So almost like the conversation every marketing coordinator would love to have with their RMT, but is too afraid to say, or hasn't had the moment to do it, to actually talk about the more strategic benefits of marketing to the region and the success of every single thing you do. So that could be a good hook for encouraging people to come in. But I think when they go out into their breakout rooms, if they were to go out into their coordinator groups, it still would be great for them to have a facilitated discussion about the benefits of doing exactly what you're doing, creating their own, and maybe getting in each of the coordinator groups a couple of people to like you did, pick up the baton and run with it and decide, okay, we're going to set one and set a date and so that it becomes like I think what Cherie, your idea was to use that use that meeting to kind of be the spark that gets more of them happening. And I think if they can go in their breakout groups, talk about things that are important to them, and maybe you could have a topic that's related to what you just presented about marketing and how, but also let them talk about whatever they want, because I think when we try to make people talk about what we want to talk, it isn't as successful than when they get together and they want to talk about the nitty gritty of some finance aspect as well, so that you can combine it.
Yes.
But
And
I really
just
like your
even
idea, Cherie.
a quick presentation at the beginning of how marketing relates to each coordinator position at the very beginning, and then
Yeah,
they get to break into their rooms and hopefully feel the energy from that, and
exactly.
and maybe even have some of us that have been part of this group for a while, if they wanted one of us to kind of go to the group room with us to
Yeah,
just help, this is what we've done, and if Michelle wants to go with the team coordinators and Tara wants to go with finance, just to talk to them and say, this is what we've done. It's not,
mm,
we're not, it's not rocket science. We're just talking. We are
yeah,
just talking.
Mhm. And bouncing ideas off from each other and getting input. It's the only way.
I mean,
mm.
good idea, except for the fact that I was volunteered for that.
Voluntold.
I'm kidding.
Which group would you like to lead?
Exactly. I just slid that in. You notice that?
Oh, I love it. And we wouldn't do that for Katie, her first time with us. No, that would be nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Does anybody have anything else for today that they would like to discuss, or any announcements, or anything?
Um, I am finding the mission retention really fun to do. So, pass that along to the people higher up. But yeah, I think it's been fun and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Michelle, if you have a minute, then even just putting that into an email, just only has to be a couple of lines, and sending it into headquarters. They really do love it when they hear from people,
yeah,
because they certainly hear from people when things aren't going well.
that's
And
a
so,
Exactly.
like all of us, like even on your role as well, yeah, just getting a little boost for the day really makes a difference. So I'd encourage you to do that.
okay. I will do that. Is there any, well, do I, should I just do it to the one that we send our mission retention stuff to?
Members, members
Okay.
at guidelines.
And they'll share it with all the others that
Yep.
are involved.
Sharon, thank you so much for all you do on the RLC. You're all over the place, and you did a fantastic job on the webcast.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
it was an incredible competition. It was incredible. I didn't miss a minute on the webcast. It was fantastic. I can't wait to
Well,
be there next year.
yeah, and it was really, I've been to a lot of conventions now, and it had a real sense of feeling like a very special one. I think that there was a lot, I think, being so far past, but this far past COVID now, and they just sort of felt more free, and I don't know, the venue was good, the vibe was good, the performances were, as you can, as you saw, outstanding. But yeah, everyone seemed to say, "Wow, what a great convention!" Like, and our headquarters staff and the job they do to pull it all together and just make it feel great was incredible.
a lot more people there this year too, I think, right?
It was around the same, but I think because the venue was a little bit more nurturing, like you just sort of felt like you were all together more, maybe than some of the others that might have been a little bit bigger, where they try to create a smaller, a more intimate feel. But 4,300 or something was similar to what we've had in the last year. Obviously bigger than Phoenix and maybe not as big as New Orleans, for instance. But yeah, I had I think it was the first day, maybe. Anyway, I ran into the bathroom and was washing my hands, and I looked up and I saw the person standing next to me in the mirror, and it was Michelle. But because here on Zoom, we're all the same height, like we're all the same, And suddenly I just went, oh, I have no idea how tall you are. Well, suddenly I saw this face, and it was one I recognized, but I didn't, because now we saw the whole body. It was lovely to meet in the toilet.
Part was meeting both Molly and you in person, and even connecting. We used to be in Region 22, my chorus, and so I saw some people from there, and that was that was the amazing part.
Yeah.
Or to sit next to somebody from Song of Atlanta, and I'm from Iowa, of course, so we're talking about where we're from, and she goes, oh, one of my college friends is from Iowa, and looks her up, and it's the next town down. It's practically a suburb of my town, but it's just that making those connections is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't wait
The
for
fact
next.
that we were in your region, which was great. Well done to Region 5 for
I just
being
found out on the
host region too.
last night, on Saturday night there, that the building we were in, the part of the Marriott, was above the old Mulebach Hotel,
Yeah.
which I
The
didn't
historical significance of that.
know the story, but one of our members, fathers actually, said the history, and you go down to the lobby and la la la, this is where they started. I'm like, oh, well, I should go check that out. And I went down there, and it was, first of all, just beautiful architecture and beautiful preserved wood and everything. And there were two women from the Greater Auckland chorus were down there trying to sing How We Sang Today, but there was a tenor and a bass. And I'm like, do you need a lead? Like, because you maybe get the melody. And so I sang with them, and then two more members from my chorus came down. I'm like, oh, baritones, excellent. Now we've got a quartet. We had a very large quartet, and we sang How We Sang Today right next to the plaque. And I'm like,
Wow.
this is awesome. And then some more members from my chorus, and then from the San Diego chorus came down, and they were singing tags. And I'm like, and this is what we do. We just, the region's all, this was both from our region, but we hang out together, and we make music, and we learn about the history, and it's like, yeah, this is just, it keeps going. So
even how that started, and I can't remember how much on that plaque or how much you've learned, but that's how it got started. It was two guys being stuck in a snowstorm in the hotel. They started singing and had a bellhop. I don't know if the bellhop was one of the other parts or got another person so they could sing 4-part and decided to start the whole. Yeah.
I don't have that much detail on the plaque, but I did take a picture of it if
you go to I don't remember exactly, but the travel in June that we did for Region 5 included the Mulebach story.
Mm.
And I think there's David Wright did too. There's a YouTube of some of that information also.
Okay.
Okay.
The only thing, the venue is so cold. Can they ever make it warmer?
Oh,
Oh my God. It's I noticed it in Louisville, and I noticed it this time, and I'm like, I need a blanket.
yeah.
It is so cold.
Yeah. I had to layer up. It was.
Yeah.
this was
Oh, yeah.
the plaque.
Okay.
Took some close-ups of that
Oh,
was the
that hotel.
bottom plaque. This was the top part. Oh, you can't, that's kind of dark. All right. In the lobby of this hotel, Owen C. Cash and Rupert I. Hall of Tulsa, Oklahoma met by chance in the year 1938. Their meeting resulted in the formation of an impromptu barbershop quartet which sang on these very premises. This experience so enriched the lives of these men that upon their return to Tulsa, they formed the Society for the Preservation and Encouragement of Barbershop Quartet Singing in America. SPEPSCO is the largest all-male singing fraternity in the world. So that was dedicated in 1963.
Mm.
And then it was rededicated in 1998, still before they changed the name.
Right.
Yeah, this is an out of focus picture of the the two women from
Yeah.
Greater Auckland. But one of my friends came along and no, this is what she took this picture, but then this is Natalie, and she friended me on Facebook and sent me the pictures she had taken, which are better quality. So I have those.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can't wait for next year. I just can't wait.
So yeah, it was so
Beautiful
much
down
fun.
there though, because I mean, I walked it all before we even started doing rehearsals in the hotel there before, but because I was there on Saturday. So I was down there on Sunday going through all those little things down